I had always believed that family meant honesty, loyalty, and shared responsibility. My wife, Heather, and I had been married for over 18 years. We had raised 3 children together, built a home, and created what everyone else saw as the perfect family. From the outside, everything looked stable, loving, and enviable. But appearances can be deceptive, and mine was about to shatter in ways I could never have imagined. It started subtly. Heather became distant, secretive, and defensive. Late-night calls, sudden trips for work, and unexplained absences made me uneasy. But I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to trust her, because I had invested so much in our life together. But intuition doesn't lie, and I couldn't ignore the unease gnawing at me. The truth hit me in a way I was unprepared for. Heather had been cheating, not once, but repeatedly. Worse, our 3 children had been complicit, covering for her lies and helping her manipulate the narrative. They lied to me, hid evidence, and even assisted her in maintaining contact with her affair partners. The betrayal was total. My wife and my own children had been deceiving me under the same roof for years. I felt a mixture of heartbreak, rage, and disbelief. How could my children, whom I had raised with love and discipline, side with someone who had so completely betrayed our family? And how could Heather believe she could manipulate me without consequence? I realized immediately that I needed a plan. Acting impulsively would only play into their hands. I needed strategy, patience, and evidence. I began by gathering proof. I collected messages, call logs, photographs, and video evidence documenting Heather's affairs. I also discreetly recorded conversations with our children where they tried to cover for her, giving me undeniable proof of their complicity. Every lie, every attempt to mislead me, was documented meticulously. Then came the DNA testing. I had long suspected that some of the children might not be biologically mine. I arranged discrete paternity tests, ensuring that the results would be legally and scientifically binding. The findings confirmed my worst fears. Not all the children were mine. The revelation was devastating, but also a crucial piece in executing the revenge I had been meticulously planning. I consulted legal experts to ensure that I could take decisive action. Custody, financial obligations, property rights, all had to be addressed. I wanted to protect myself, safeguard my future, and ensure that Heather and the children faced consequences for their betrayal. I drafted eviction notices, revised my will to cut them out entirely, and prepared to enforce these measures with precision. When the confrontation arrived, I executed my plan flawlessly. I presented the DNA results, the affair evidence, and the recordings of their lies in a controlled setting. Heather and the children were stunned into silence. Heather tried to justify her actions, claiming loneliness and dissatisfaction. My children tried to argue that they were helping their mother. Every excuse crumbled under the undeniable evidence. The legal and financial measures followed immediately. Eviction notices were served, ensuring that Heather and any non-biological children no longer had access to the home. I restructured my will, cutting them from inheritance and ensuring that my assets would go to those who had remained loyal. Financial accounts were secured, and legal protections were enacted to prevent further manipulation. Emotionally, I reclaimed control. The betrayal had been immense, but it became a catalyst for empowerment. I focused on rebuilding my life, maintaining stability, and protecting my interests. Heather and the children had assumed that love, loyalty, and familial bonds would protect them from consequences. They had underestimated my resolve, my planning, and my ability to act decisively. Months later, the fallout was complete. Heather's reputation was irreparably damaged. My children had to confront the consequences of their actions, socially, emotionally, and legally. The betrayal, once hidden behind lies and manipulation, had been exposed completely. I had turned devastation into strategy, heartbreak into empowerment, and deception into accountability. The lesson was unmistakable. Betrayal, no matter how carefully orchestrated, can be countered with patience, evidence, and strategic action. Heather and my children believed they could deceive and manipulate me. They were wrong. Their audacity became their undoing, and I emerged stronger, wiser, and fully in control of my life and future. In the end, I didn't just survive betrayal. I reclaimed authority, dignity, and control. The cheating, the lies, and the deception became the catalyst for a revenge that was thorough, undeniable, and unforgettable. Heather and my children had assumed secrecy, and loyalty would protect them. Instead, it ensured their downfall.